Hello all, today this is a very special every other day vlog, and today I will be reviewing my usual recording setup for live streaming now since I have that Tascam recorder, and I will also be reviewing how I use it in my everyday setup and how I go about recording with it. Please enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you'd like to see. Alright, let's get straight into it. So here we have my live streaming kit. This is what I primarily bring with me and goes with me to all occasions where I'd be streaming or recording. I only use this a few times, but here's some of the components. One, an iMuto power bank. This thing is 30,000 milliamp hours and does a good job at keeping anything charged that needs to be USB powered while recording. So far I only use this for the Tascam recorder, which I'll show later. Next up, some of the cables that I need. This cable is the cable I use for my adapter for my camera, which is needed because it has to record for a long time and often can't do that on a single LPE16 battery. Here I have my 125GB Corsair flash drive. This helps me carry footage I need in case I need to back more up. Next up, I have my Tascam shotgun mic. This, in fact, is the mic I'm using right now and is cheap and effective. With a dirty budget of 35 bucks, you can use it for practically anything. Next is an HDMI cable in case I need to export anything to a TV for live viewing. Next up is my main weapon before I got the Tascam recorder. This is the Zoom H4n non-pro version with two XLR imports capable of being phantom powered or plug-in powered. It's a pretty versatile tool, and its advantage over the Tascam recorder, the sound instantly sent to a computer. Next up is a Samaronics lavalier mic. This has been the go-to mic that I've used for a long time. These two cables, number one is the power cable for the Tascam DR recorder, version 2. This is the 3.5mm jack used to putting audio to the camera. The Tascam recorder itself is pretty small, but does weigh about 1 pound. With two XLR outputs and inputs, this thing can phantom power those things for as long as you want, but apparently has a limited recording time. Next up is my little mini tripod. This is used to hold up the Tascam recorder in any situation I'm in. These are two extra SD cards just in case I need them. That's pretty much the contents of the kit. I used to have a longer Ethernet cable, which is about 120 feet, that I used to carry around with me when I was doing short live streams with friends, but that has found a use for a Mac Pro my father and I are working on. But I usually carry it around to gigs where I'd need to shove it into a, for say, an Ethernet port, whatever I'd need to throw it onto to get a faster internet connection, because laptops don't usually have that good of Wi-Fi cards unless you have really, really strong Wi-Fi. In most cases, you'll not have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal, which is why I use that little gray cable, or I have a much longer blue cable that I use, which is about that big around when coiled up, and it's huge. So anyway, that's the kit. As far as putting it together, this is how it usually goes. First, I take the Tascam recorder and usually set it up somewhere, along with the cable to plug it into the camera, the charger, which provides plenty enough power to phantom power 2+ mics, and any plug-in inputs. Now, these 30,000 milliamp hours lasts a long time, and there's no reason you need any more. Usually I don't have to charge the battery for at least 2 weeks, as I don't record this professionally that often. When turning the recorder on, I set it to bus power, as this makes it take power from the USB. Note, I do have to push the button on the charger because this thing can pull very, very low amounts of current when first turned on, and therefore needs to actually activate, and then the charger will realize that there's a substantial pull in power from it. Then it will allow it to turn on and continue with its operation, because otherwise the charger won't turn on unless there's a sufficient load. That's how it's designed to be efficient. In this case, I'd usually screw the tripod on before, but I just did it now because I did not have a brain. After propping the recorder up on some sort of tripod, or right underneath the camera through the 1/4 inch screw, and usually that goes on with the DSLR on top of a tripod, but for demonstration purposes, this is going to be in front of the camera. I usually take my little extender, 3.5mm jack, and my mic. I plug my shotgun mic into the little extender, and then would plug it into Tascam recorder. Although note, this recorder does have very, very tight ports, and you usually have to give it a really good amount of force in order to get these things in. And note that the equalizers did not show anything because it was not pushed in far enough. As you see now, the equalizers show that there is sound coming from the mic, although it is stereo, when for some reason the 3.5mm jack that does go to my camera only records one track, the right. Next, which I didn't show in my parts list, are some Sony monitors. These were a gift long ago that I've used for a long time. Not only are they quality headphones, they're very accurate and have a large range of tones that they can work with. Next, I'll just plug it into the phone jack. It's usually at the level I want. Otherwise, I can change the settings or the equalizer, pan, etc. Now, usually this is pretty much the setup I need for a podcast. But there's also a bonus extra in case I do want to record video, and that is the 3.5mm jack that I'm using for ease of use now, that would plug into my camera to feed the recorder into my camera. And for some reason the camera doesn't like to record stereo from this recorder. I think it's just because I have a busted out cable, or this camera doesn't have a good enough amplifier, or has too harsh of an amplifier. I don't know exactly how those specifics work, but it might go along something like that. As you can see, I turn around the recorder to reveal the XLR ports and the camera out port, which is usually what I'd use to put it into the camera. Taking the 3.5mm jack and plugging it into the Tascam, I would then plug it into the camera, which would be pretty simple and straightforward. It's just usually recommended that you check the audio first, and then you're good to go. Thank you all for watching. If we get 5 likes on this video, I will easily do the next part, which is how I edit my videos. Now this part is pretty simple, though I think you guys would like to watch it, and please let me know in the description anything I could do at home, as I'm very bored. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.